Welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we've got another episode of Hot Take Tuesday, and we're going to be checking out the new Nanlite FS-300b. Alright, again, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy the video, and if you're into filmmaking and gear-related content, please consider subscribing. It really does mean a lot to me, and it helps me make more of these videos down the line. So about 2 years ago, Nanlite came out with their FS series of lights, which was a more affordable option that you didn't have to sell a kidney in order to afford, unlike their Forza collection. And the main differences between the two being that these are not quite as bright as their flagship Forza lights because they have a different LED chipset, and you also don't get a control box that allows you to run these off of V-mount batteries. And lastly, you do not get a dedicated carrying case with these lights. And the FS lineup was mainly targeted at creators working out of a studio environment, or as a light that you were going to permanently put up and mount somewhere because you have to run it into a wall outlet for power. However, there is a sneaky little workaround for this, which we're going to talk about later in the video. But if you work in a studio environment or you always have access to a wall outlet, then these lights would be a really great option. However, I think the use case for these lights can be a lot broader than that if you just get a little bit creative. And at the time of making this video, these things are on sale for $320. So they are a really great way to get a super bright light at a much more affordable price. However, they are not without their faults, which we are going to get into later. Alright, so one of the main reasons why I was interested in this light from the get-go was because it is bi-colored. And it has a range of 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin, and that makes things a lot easier when you're trying to match a warm or a cool light source. And you know, I was in the throw a gel on it boat for a while, and let me tell you what, that gets annoying really fast, and it also wastes a lot of time. So if you can afford it, because a lot of the times bi-colored lights are a little bit more expensive than daylight colored lights, I would highly recommend getting the bi-colored light. And on top of it being bi-colored, it is also just a super bright light. These things max out at 350 watts, and I can tell you from experience, these things are no joke bright. I've used these lights to fake morning sunlight, and I was extremely surprised by how well they did for just being a 300 watt light. And the other thing that I really like about this light and just Nanlite in general is the quality. These things are built extremely well, and then the quality of light you get out of them is super top notch. And the FS-300b has a CLI rating of 96 and a TLCI rating of 97. And you know, that doesn't mean a whole lot to my little pea brain, but what I do know is when I get the footage back and I look everything over in post, I don't have any weird red or green hue shifts coming from my lights, and that saves me a huge headache trying to fix. So unfortunately, I think the fact that this light has to be plugged in and can't be ran off of V-mount batteries might scare some people off. But with it only being $320 right now, I think it's a really good deal no matter what you intend to use it for. My solution for getting this thing outside of a studio and getting it away from a power outlet is pretty simple. And the best part is it's still going to be cheaper than if you were to buy one of their Forza lights that can be ran off of V-mount batteries. All you have to do is get one of these bad boys. And this is a portable power bank that can put out 500 watts of AC power. So I have had this one for quite a while now, so it is pretty old. But you can find a newer one that puts out 300 watts of power, and not only is it smaller than that, it also only costs around 150 bucks. So all in on the light and the power bank, you'd be still under $500, which is a really good savings if you were to compare that to one of their Forza lights. And not to mention, these things come in handy when you're on set or if you're out shooting somewhere. I always bring that thing with me because I'm normally a big dummy and I forget to charge one or two things, and then I plug them into that and we're still good to go. And this thing will allow you to get some pretty incredible shots with the light when you're outside of the studio. Now, obviously, this is not as convenient as V-mount batteries, but it does get the job done, and it allows you to have a pretty bright light that you can then use when you're away from power outlets and extension cords. So don't let the fact that this thing has to be plugged into an outlet scare you away from it, because using this combination of the light and the power bank can make some really cool shots way more obtainable. And now moving on to the things that I do not like about this light. And it is a very short list, and there's just one big thing that I have an issue with, and that is controllability. So you can control this light with the little Nanlite controller, or with the Nanlink app, or with the little control box that they sell separately from the kit. But trying to adjust things on this light can get a little bit tricky, especially if you have it mounted somewhere high. Because unlike their Forza lights where you can have the control box mounted lower on the light stand, all the controls for these are directly on the back of the light. So if you don't have the little controller, or you can't get their app to work, which at this point I've tried multiple times and can never get it to work, then you're forced to constantly lower the light down, adjust things, then raise it back up, and do that over and over and over again. And that gets really annoying. And there are other companies that do a really good job at this, like with Aputure's Sidus Link. That system makes it a breeze to adjust all of your lights from the comfort of your phone. And this is the one thing that not only this light, but Nanlite as a whole falls a little short. I do really like these lights, and they are extremely well built and they're super bright, but they just need to come up with a better solution for controlling these lights remotely. Because I'll tell you from my own experience, that little clicker doesn't cut it. The absolute perfect setup would be if you could combine Sidus Link with Nanlite's lights and be able to control everything from one app. So Nanlite, if you are watching this, please fix your app. That is the one thing that is holding you guys back from greatness. And there you have it. That is my hot take on the new FS-300b from Nanlite. And of course, on the day that I was going to post this video, I figured I would give the Nanlink app one more shot, since I've been trying to get into this thing for months now and it will never let me log in. And just as my luck would have it, it finally worked. And I didn't want to put this video out without at least telling you guys that it did finally work. So I think that the Sidus Link app is still better to use and easier to use than the Nanlink app is. However, with a couple updates, I think the Nanlink app could be right up there next to it. So if you are a creator in the market for a bright bi-colored LED light, but you don't really want to shell out all the extra money for getting a light that can run off of V-mount batteries, then I think this would be a really good option, especially now that the app finally works. And if you're somebody who's looking for a light that's going to permanently live in a studio, then this is an absolute no-brainer. And if you guys have any questions about this light or anything in general, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer your guys' questions. And as always, don't forget to go out and leave a nice comment on somebody's video. I'm sure it'll mean a lot to them, and it'll only take a second to do. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a absolutely fantastic day, and don't forget to enjoy all of life's random realities. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye now.